Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Levy's Math Room. Now last session we looked at adding integers with the same signs and adding integers with different signs. Now just to recap a little, we say if the signs are the same, we add the numbers and we keep the signs that they both have or that they all have. Right? Now if the signs are different, then we subtract and we give our result the sign that the larger number has. Okay? Now, what we're going to be looking at in this session is subtracting integers. So we're looking at subtraction of integers, right? So subtraction of integers, right? Or some persons call them signed numbers. So we have -3 minus a +4. So -3 minus a +4. Now, let's put that on the number line and see what we have. Now, one other thing we must try to remember when we are subtracting integers is that when we are subtracting, we simply add the opposite. So remember, when we are subtracting integers, we simply add the opposite, right? So remember that when we are subtracting integers, we add the opposite, all right? So let's just rewrite this. And if I rewrite -3 minus a +4, that will give me, if I rewrite that, so -3 plus -4, right? So +3 plus -4. So remember, we're adding the opposite, right? So we are adding the opposite. The opposite of a +4 is a -4, right? So the opposite of +4 is -4. So we are simply adding the opposite. So when we are subtracting integers, remember we add the opposite. The opposite of, so we change this minus sign here to add, and we change this +4 to subtraction. Now, if there is no sign to the left of the number, it tells us that it is a positive number, right? So if I didn't write a plus there, right, it means that this is positive, so it's +4. Right? So we're adding, so it's -3 plus -4. If I put that on the number line, you put that on the number line, so let's draw this number line right here. So we have, let's go, let's put negative. Hold on. So let's put 0 there, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. Alright? So as usual, we locate the first term, -3. -3 and the number line is right here. And then we're going to move 4 places to the left. So the negative sign tells us which direction to move. Remember, we said the sign tells us if we are going to move to the left or to the right, depending on what the sign is. So if it's positive, we move to the right, and if it's negative, we move to the left. Alright, so in this case, we're adding -4. So we'll go to the left 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so -3 plus -4 then equals -7. Alright? Now, if you look at this, and sometimes we look at it as money owed. So you owe $3, you borrow $4 more, you now owe $7. Alright? So you owe somebody $3, you borrow $4 more from them, you now owe them $7. Okay? Now, let's go to the next one. So again, we are going to, this is a +5. Remember we said if there's no sign to the left of it, it means that the number is positive. So a +5 or +5 minus a +8. Remember we said now we are going to do what? Add the opposite. So we're adding the opposite. So the opposite of a +8 is a -8. So that would be 5 plus -8. Okay? Now putting that on the number line, let's draw a number line. So let's start at 5. So 5, 4, 5. We can stop there. Alright? So again, we locate our positive 5 on the number line. And our positive 5 is right here. So, and we are going to move 8 places to the left. Right? Because we are adding negative 8. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that takes us to negative 3. Alright? So then 5 plus negative 8 gives us negative 3. Right? Now, if we were to go back to what we did yesterday, and we say when we are adding two numbers whose signs are different, we do what? We subtract and keep the sign of the larger. So in this case, we are adding, we have a negative 8. Right? So we are going to subtract 5 from 8, and we keep the sign that the larger number has. So 8 minus 5 is 3, and this is negative, so we keep the negative sign there. Alright? But just remember that what we do, we add the opposite. Okay? Now let's look at this. We have negative 2 minus positive 6. So again, we are going to rewrite that as negative 2 plus negative 6. Alright? Now, remember we said 2 yesterday. When we add two numbers whose signs are the same, we do what? We add them and keep the sign that they both have. Alright, so remember, we are adding two numbers whose signs are the same. We add them and we keep the sign that they both have. Alright, so that's another way to look at it. So this would give us what? Negative 8. Now let's draw a number line and see if it works out that way. So we have, let's start at 0. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10. Alright, so we locate our negative 2 right here. And we are moving how many places? We are moving 6 places, which direction? To the left. Alright, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And that takes us to negative 8. Alright? So negative 6 plus negative 2 is negative 8. Alright, now let's look at this one. So we have that, good. So we have negative 3 minus negative 4. I'm going to erase this one so we can make space. Good. So we have, so this was, let me just rewrite this. So negative 2 plus negative 6 equals negative 8. Now let's look at this one. So we have negative 3 minus negative 4. Now look at the difference between this and this. Right? Notice that we have two negative signs following each other. So minus negative 4. Right? So negative 3 minus negative 4. Now, remember we said we are going to do what? We are adding the opposite. So we are adding the opposite. So we are going to do negative 3 plus positive 4. Right? So negative 3 plus positive 4. I'm not writing the plus sign here. Okay, let's just put it up there. So negative 3 plus, we are adding the opposite. Right? So the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. Alright? So remember, we add the opposite. Good? So we add the opposite. So we have these two minus sign here. So we add the opposite. Good? So then that will give us what? Let's put it on the number line. So we have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, negative, negative, negative. So 4, and we are moving, so we have negative 3, sorry, and we are moving 4 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will give us positive 1. Right? So that's positive 1. I'll just make space that looks a little clustered. Let's write it a little better. you can see where we're going. So we say 4, 3, 2, 1, negative 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Alright, so we locate our negative 3, and we're adding 4, so we are moving 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that takes us to positive 1. Alright? So negative 3 plus 4 is equal to 1. And if we follow the rules that we did, we had yesterday on the last session, we say the signs are different. We take the smaller from the larger and keep the sign that the larger number has. Alright? So in this case, we'll take 3 from 4, and since 4 is positive, we keep the sign that it has. So that's a positive 1. Alright? Let's take that off. Okay, now let's go to the other one. So we have 5, a positive 5 minus negative 2. Again, we add the opposite. So 5 plus a positive 2. 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. Alright? So without drawing the number line, you can work them out. Alright? So we have negative 12 minus negative 4. That would give us, if we were to rewrite that, that would give us negative 12 plus positive 4. Right? Now, we are adding two numbers whose signs are different, so we subtract and keep the sign of the larger. So we take 4 from 12, and that will give us, and right away we know that the result is going to be negative. Right? So it's going to be negative. We put our negative sign, and we take 4 from 12, and that gives us 8. Good? And then for the last one, we have negative 7 plus positive 3. Right? So we say, remember, we're adding the opposite. So when we are subtracting the integers, we simply add the opposite. Okay? So that will give us what? Same, we have two signs. The signs are different, so we subtract and keep the sign of the larger. So right away we know again our answer is going to be negative. So we can put our negative sign right here. And we take 3 from 7, and that gives us 4. Alright? So let me just write this somewhere in red. So when we are subtracting integers, so when subtracting integers, we add the opposite. Right? So when subtracting integers, we add the opposite. Again, when we are subtracting integers, we add the opposite. Alright, so remember that. Okay? So, we erase this. 5 minus positive 8 means 5 plus negative 8. And that gives us negative 3. Alright? Good. So, what I wanted to do is just get some questions and practice them, especially where we have the two negative signs following each other, right? Like this. So just remember that we are adding the opposite. Good? So we're adding the opposite. So I hope you are being helped by these sessions. And what I encourage you to do is leave a comment, like and subscribe and share the videos so that others can be helped as well. Let me know how you are being helped, right? Just leave a comment and let me know. Alright, you take care. Peace out. See you next time.